JokeDAO is a great tool for activating your community and making decisions together. Today I'm going to show you how to create a JokeDAO contest for your Juicebox Project community. In the first step, we'll generate a list of addresses who will receive the voting token for the JokeDAO contest. We're going to explore two techniques for doing this. One, using the Juicebox.money interface to generate a list of every single address that holds your project's token. And the second technique will be using the Snapshot API to generate a list of only those addresses that have voted in Snapshot governance for your project. We'll then jump over to the JokeDAO interface to create and deploy our contest on Polygon, and then use a tool called Coinvise to distribute those voting tokens to the list we generated in the first step. So here we go. There's a few different ways to collect addresses associated with the Juicebox project. The first and most straightforward way is to go to that project's Juicebox project page and download a list of all the wallets that hold the project tokens, be they unclaimed tokens or ERC20s from that project if it's deployed the ERC20. To do that, you go to the project page, click holders, click this little button over here, select the block number you'd like to take your snapshot at. In most cases, the latest block is just fine, but if you'd like a precise date in the past, you can use a tool like Etherscan to go find what block corresponding with a date that you're interested in, but I'm just going to use latest. Then click here, download CSV. Sometimes this can take a minute. Once you've saved the file, you can open it in something like Excel. Once you sort the document, you can delete, for instance, the 0 address that holds a bunch of tokens. You can also delete these addresses that for some reason are included, even though they no longer hold any JBX tokens, claimed or unclaimed. So you can shorten this list, but the truth is that it's a very, very long list in this case, and I'm trying to make JokeDAO a contest. So this list is actually too long for my use case. So I'm going to close this. And instead, I'm going to take a look at Snapshot. So Juicebox.DAO uses Snapshot to do governance votes. So I'm going to collect the addresses associated with prior Snapshot votes. So basically everybody who's voted in Juicebox.DAO in the past, I'm going to create a list of all those addresses. The easiest way to do that, right now at least, is to go to docs.snapshot.org/GraphQL-API and open this link here, which gives you a GraphQL interface in order to make queries using the Snapshot Graph API. I've got that open here already, and I have this query pre-written. Basically, what this query does is goes and looks at all the prior votes, which is what Snapshot calls proposals that are up for voting. They're called votes. So we're going to grab the last 1,000 votes, or the last 1,000 proposals that have been voted on, inside of the jbdao.eth space. And so if you were to reuse this command, you would change this text right here for the address associated with your snapshot space. And it's going to sort them in descending order and give us all of the voter addresses. So if I click run, I get this text document over here containing all of the addresses. The formatting isn't exactly what we need. So the next step, I'll show you how to fix this. The first thing to do is to copy the data over here. Then I'll open up a new text editor. In this case, I'm using VS Code, and paste the results in. Then I'm going to use a little bit of VS Code trickery. I'm going to do a Command F find 0x, which is obviously the beginning of every wallet address in this list. Then I'll do selection, select all occurrences. First, you got to close this little find window. Then Shift Option Right to select all of the addresses. I'll cut those addresses out, select everything and delete the rest of the file, and just paste the addresses in. Now I have all the addresses, each one on a separate line. I'm going to repeat the same trick and do a search for 0x, select all occurrences, close the little find window, Command right to go to the end of the line and add a comma so that it's a comma separated list. And then I'm going to jump down to the bottom and delete the last comma, which is an excess comma. Then I'm going to copy this list. Then I'm going to open up ens to hex .vercel.app, which is a little utility I wrote that helps to convert ENS addresses into 0x hex format wallet addresses, and it can also do deduplication. So I'm going to use this to delete all the duplicates in our list. So I'm going to paste in a list from the prior step, hit deduplicate. I can even add in an address if I want. I'm going to add vitalik.eth, let's say, and hit convert. And what I get out on the other end is a comma separated list of all of the addresses, but only each address one time. So it's deduplicated, and at the bottom it's added this Vitalik's address, which is this last one here. I'm going to copy this list of deduplicated addresses, then return to my text editor, paste it in, and do the same trick yet again, searching for 0x, selecting all occurrences, closing the little find window, and then I'm going to go past the end of the address after the comma, put a space and 100 because I'd like to give everyone 100 tokens, and then hit enter to make it to separate each address and how many tokens I'm sending them each onto their own line, which is what the airdrop distribution tools like disperse.app and Coinvise expect. So now I have every single line is a different address with how many tokens I'm going to send them. I just have to fix this error, one missing comma, delete that extra space. Then I can copy this list. Now that I've got the list of addresses that I'd like to airdrop, I'm ready to create my JokeDAO contest. So I go to JokeDAO.io, connect my wallet, then click Create Contest. Go to the second step. I'm going to call this Banny Drawing Contest number 1. It's auto-filled there because I've already written it once. And I'm going to call the token jbDAO. I'll send all of the tokens to my own wallet address. And I'm going to mint, let's say, 1 million tokens. When the transaction is confirmed, I get the token, the contract's address here. So I'm going to open that in a new tab just to hang on to it and hit the next step. Now it's time to write the details of the contest. So I'm going to call this Banny Drawing Contest number 1, and the contest description I'll write now. Okay, I've got the contest description finished. JokeDAO has pre-filled the voting token address from the prior step. And now I can configure the deadlines. First up is the submissions open stage. And this I'm going to set to 1 p.m. today. I'll set the maximum number of submissions to 200. The default, that's fine. Anybody can submit. Each submitter can submit up to, I'm going to say, 3 entries. Now I can set the voting times. So I'm going to say that voting should open in the last 10 minutes of town hall and close at the end of town hall, or let's say the end of the first hour of town hall. Submitters qualify to vote if they hold tokens at the start of voting. Sounds good. And I'm not going to turn on and down voting. So we can now create the contest. Cool. So the contest is live. I can hit next, and JokeDAO gives some instructions about how to airdrop those tokens, because the tokens that I minted in step 2 are now entirely inside of this wallet that I was connected to. So I still need to send to that long list of comma separated addresses that we created in the last step. So I'll go to Coinvise, go to airdrop by wallet address, and I'm going to paste in the address of the token. Here. You can see I have 1 million of them in my wallet, so I'll restrict myself to only voting with 100. Maybe I'll send the rest to the burn address once the distribution is finished. I'm going to give the airdrop a title. Now I can paste in the list that we generated in the previous step. Click next. Then Coinvise will ask me to approve the Coinvise contract to distribute, to move my jbDAO tokens. Total of 14,000 tokens are going to be distributed to 141 recipients. So I'm going to approve. And then Coinvise will allow me to create the airdrop. If the list of addresses that I'm distributing to is too many to fit into a single transaction, Coinvise will helpfully split up the transaction into many separate transactions, sending the tokens to a subset of the total list that I put in the prior step, which is really cool and really helpful. In this case, 141 is enough to fit into a single transaction, and it won't even cost that much because we're doing it on Polygon, so 0.8 Matic, so $1 or $2. So I can confirm this transaction, sending these tokens. Okay, so now that the token is distributed, I can open up the JokeDAO contest page and double check that everything looks all right. So I think there's a little bit of a bug going on in the interface right now, and it says submissions are open when they're actually not quite open yet. But if we look down here, everything looks okay. The submissions open at 1 p.m. Voting opens tomorrow at 6:50 p.m. and voting closes at 7 p.m. And some of my tokens have been distributed, and I'll probably send the rest to the burn address. So that's how you create a JokeDAO contest for your Juicebox project community. In this video, we saw how to create a list for an airdrop using Juicebox.money or Snapshot's API. We then created a contest using the JokeDAO interface, and we executed the airdrop using Coinvise. I hope this video was useful. Thanks for watching.